hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend. I'm starting the show in a minute. I hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend. I've been in the cut. Shit's going crazy, as you guys are well aware. I'm getting ready to start the show in a few minutes, but if you contend any of the points I put forward, you're more than welcome to come through. You know, anybody's open to say whatever they want in the 5-play land. Good. Two in the building. Anybody here? Hit that hit them comments up for your boy. You know I'm open for any kind of convo. Don't free Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Lock that motherfucker up.
Drop it.
Sorry about that, people. I know a lot of y'all think that Kilmar Abrego Garcia is an innocent man. And I hope you guys are coming through to comment, debate, whatever have you. You know we like that action on this side. If our player invites all debate, all contentions, all comments are welcome here. Fast shout out to the underrated grinder talk. Salute to you, my brother. Thank you for coming through. New York. What's up with the Knicks? A few minutes, hopefully. I'm gonna get a bootleg subscription of ESPN later on, like so I can watch that game. Grind the talk, baby. Let's go. Yeah, I'm gonna start the show up. Thank you for coming. I have 3 in the building now. That's good enough for me. Thank you for anybody who's tuning in for the first time. Anybody who's subscribed to me in the past. I really haven't been able to come through. Life's been too crazy, and thankfully I'm doing extremely well. But no time to do my Foul Playland. I love doing this show at times, just in the sense of venting and like to talk to cats that would like to vent. Yeah, word up, New York, stand up for real, Mr. Underrated Darkness. And please, if you guys could subscribe to the Underrated Darkness, #1 grinder, great show. And root for the Knicks. I'm pretty sure my brother Underrated Darkness will be doing later today. But I'm glad to be back. I ain't doing shit this weekend. And what better place to be than on the Foul Playland? Wanted to talk about some of the political issues that are ripe. The first one I'm going to lead off with is more central to me. I mean, actually, I'll jump back and forth, but and this is regarding the District Attorney of New York, Letitia James. I've had bad things to say about Letitia James in the past. I mean, it doesn't have much to do with Trump in most cases. Most of my criticisms, being a New Yorker, of Letitia James is the fact that when I go to New York, which I have to go pretty much every week, and I'm going more regularly now because of a little venture I'm trying to get started in my hometown. And again, I live about half hour from New York City now, but I left New York probably in 2019, so I speak as a New Yorker, somebody who still goes there, somebody who lives there recently. My mom still lives there, whatever have you. When I go to New York now, it just sucks. It's full of people that look desperate, in addition to piled onto the top of those people that already look desperate. In the last 5 years or so, they went into a wave of massive migration. Now, New York's always had migration. This is true. I've lived through the Chinese coming into New York. In my neighborhood, Sunset Park, there were no Chinese, and then a lot of Chinese came. As bad as that was, because that was the first wave where they came with money and a lot of people, not just a bunch of impoverished people moving into New York. No, like when the Chinese came into New York City, they came into my neighborhood specifically, Sunset Park, Brooklyn. And when they came, they didn't come destitute looking for work. They came buying buildings, setting up their own businesses. In New York, somehow a lot of the immigration waves that followed, take for instance, Yemenis, a lot of Yemenis came into New York. They also somehow came in the same way. They didn't come looking for little jobs. They actually came set up and with money in a lot of cases, which always made me wonder. However, as a New Yorker, these migration waves that popped off, this door's annoying me. 1 second. Or let me rephrase that. As a poor New Yorker who grew up in Section 8 like myself, the dreams of home ownership, when I became a adult around the 2000s or early 2000s, the dream of owning a home in New York had dissipated, and it was largely due to the fact that this migration wave came. With it came a lot of money, and the prices of houses went up, in addition to gentrification, which was happening simultaneously. Now, as Puerto Rican New Yorkers, I know that it directly affected my people, the Puerto Ricans of New York, in addition to the other countries that I consider my peoples. which are Black New Yorkers, Dominican New Yorkers, so on. The fact that this outside group piles into a group that's already existing, that's struggling, I've always had reprehensions for it. Mind you, I'm not even talking about these new migrants that came. I'm talking about the 1990s Chinese migrants that came in mass, and how it kind of displaced the Puerto Rican minorities of my specific neighborhood, Sunset Park. And it displaced a lot of the Black cats that were living in Sunset Park at that time too. So what happened was, during this migration wave of recent history in the 2020s, where New York became a sanctuary city and openly invited migrants into the city, is that crime, which already was really high, like before the COVID era, spiked dramatically. It spiked dramatically, largely in part because of the migrants that were coming in were mostly men. And honestly, I'm a hood dude through and through. I don't go into situations or into areas scared. I'm not saying I'm a big badass, but there's nowhere in New York, for the most part, that I walk around scared. The only thing that I'm more concerned about as far as New Yorkers go is more craziness rather than scared, if you will. Let me turn on my fan. I'm sorry. I don't know what the fuck that was about. So with politicians like Letitia James, when it came to these migrants that arrived in New York that were considered so-called asylum seekers, they rationalized that those people, should they get in trouble while they were staying in New York, these mostly men migrants that were coming in since 2020, that should they get in trouble in the city or state of New York, that they would be deported back to a country where they were seeking asylum from, supposedly. A lot of times these migrants would get in trouble and they weren't prosecuted. And this comes most times directly from the office of this same Letitia James, who's the head district attorney for the state of New York. Now, what was Letitia James wasting the time with during the time of Trump's presidency or after Trump's presidency is going after Trump and his family directly. If you guys weren't aware, in the state of New York, there's been a few cases that were tossed in the direction of Trump, to where he's lost damn near $500 million in court, by way of judgments from the court. Now, I'm pretty sure that he hasn't paid much of that back, or he hasn't paid any of those judgments back. And I'm almost certain that those judgments are likely to get tossed out the window, because the wreckage that's going to come in the direction of Letitia James and a lot of other politicians that may have been involved in trying to go after Trump on some political shit, which many did, including Letitia James. And one of the cases that they went after Trump for was overvaluing his property, one of which being Mar-a-Lago, the property which Trump lives on in Florida, which is in Palm Beach, Florida. It's near West Palm Beach, but it's a really exclusive area. I've been to Palm Beach a few times in my life. It's one of the most exclusive areas in the country. It's probably just as ritzy as Beverly Hills. There's Gucci designer stores there that don't even open during the summer, and everything there closes during the summer, because it's rich people's summer home. Like, a lot of rich people from New York, they live in Palm Beach as their summer spot, but this is like the insanely rich, the most expensive real estate you could think of. Now, when the state of New York or the city of New York came after Trump, one of the cases was that he overvalued some of his properties on a loan that he had taken out. And one of the properties that he has listed as collateral, I guess, or as an asset of his, was Mar-a-Lago. New York, retroactively, after Trump had already paid this loan, if you guys aren't familiar with this case, Trump had already paid the loan back in full. the state of New York went and looked back at Trump's business dealings and looked and came up with this case of where they could go after him and say that he undervalued his assets. Maybe they try to go after him for other stuff and figured that they really didn't have much to chase him on. So they conjured up this case, maybe not anticipating that Trump would actually win the 2024 election. You know, they went for broke in essence. Now January has since passed. Trump has taken office, and Trump's suggesting that the Letitia James should be looked at. Again, like a lot of the case that Letitia James, the recent one, was regarding his loan application and overvaluing his assets, of which they took Trump's residence, Mar-a-Lago, a humongous property. I think it's 8 acres or 4 acres, waterfront on both sides, which no property in Palm Beach has that waterfront on both sides. A lot of those properties there are half an acre. Trump's Mar-a-Lago is, I believe, 6 or 8 acres. So the state of New York, I think, took it upon themselves to list Mar-a-Lago as being valued at $18 million or $19 million rather than like the $60 million, which Trump or his team had put as the value of his Mar-a-Lago property. Now, for that one little clerical error or whatever you have, it might not even be a clerical error. It's an assumption that New York did that the property is undervalued according to Trump, and that they would then put a value of $18 million on his Mar-a-Lago property. Like, which, if you guys like Trump or not, you guys have probably seen Mar-a-Lago and what it looks like. It doesn't look like a house that's worth $20 million. I mean, even if it were out here where I live in New Jersey, it probably wouldn't be worth $20 million. Waterfront on 2 sides. But then, you know, again, factor that we're talking about Palm Beach, the most expensive neighborhood probably in the country. This is where Jeffrey Epstein lived. When people try to loosely associate him with Trump, and it's because of the proximity. And, you know, Jeffrey Epstein, you guys know, was a man of endless wealth, and he chose Palm Beach as his home. So now this case, Trump actually lost that case. I believe there were specific jury instructions that the judge gave, in addition to the fact that, you know, this is a jury pool that was from Manhattan, New York City, a lot of liberal yuppies, all kinds of rainbows, you name it. But that jury pool, in addition to the fact that the judge instructed the jury and went out of his way like to do these unethical instructions, they found Trump guilty. Now, I'm pretty sure, again, like Trump is not going to face any real repercussion for any of that New York stuff. If I remember correctly, that he hasn't been sentenced yet. That's probably got chucked out or is going to get chucked out. But now Trump is suggesting that Letitia James should be looked at or investigated for something very similar. Ironically enough, the Department of Justice is now alleging that Letitia James, who is a New York politician, listed a Virginia home that she owns as her primary residence when she tried to apply for a new loan. She also apparently had listed a brownstone in Brooklyn as a 4-apartment residence rather than a 5-apartment residence. I mean, and this is a really nice house. I mean, and you got to wonder, I mean, like me as a New Yorker, a brownstone of that magnitude with 5 rental units in it, I mean, you're looking at like $2-3 million easy. Like, how is it that a district attorney for the city of New York has enough money to buy 2 properties of that value? I mean, one could wonder. But they're investigating her on similar issues as far as mislisting real estate holdings or where she's residing. And it's, I mean, she's given a statement as of last night. I mean, this story is pretty new. It's not hitting the national waves. haven't really seen the liberal media jump all over it, trying to defend her and all that shit. But she's since given a statement, pretty much saying that she didn't say that she wasn't guilty. Oh, these are outlandish claims. Like, she just said that it's a political trial. I mean, granted, it could be, but she just conducted a trial of similar ilk. So not many people are going to have a sympathetic bone about the fact that she's facing a political trial when she just made Trump endure a political trial over a span of years. In fact, several political trials. It seems like every district attorney in every facet of the state of New York, whether it be Alvin Bragg in the city or Letitia James at the state level, they all have made a career of attempting to come after Trump. Now, could that motivation from these New York district attorneys have been coming from the Biden White House? I mean, I would guess that that might have been the case, because it was very suspicious for somebody who had been working for Biden's Department of Justice to leave that office and go work for the New York City's district attorney, months after Biden got in office. And he was the point man for a lot of these cases. So it just seems as if there was a direct connection between the White House under Biden and these district attorneys' offices in New York and New York City, respectively. So we're getting in when the early stages of this case. I mean, it's gonna be a mess. If anybody has anything to say about it, I mean, that'd be fantastic. But again, I don't expect a lot of people to know about it because, I mean, it's kind of like fresh off the presses in a sense. And it is a New York-centric issue in a sense. But it is a national issue because the Trump team is basically alleging that what Letitia James' prosecution was trying to accomplish was election interference, which that could easily be concluded if you're not a biased observer. But a lot of people do have their biases, and what are you gonna do? Let me go to my next topic, and that's the Maryland Father of the Year, Kilmar Abrego Garcia. He's a man who has been deported from the state of Virginia back to his country of origin, which is El Salvador. Beyond that, I don't know much about that case. I do know that he's Salvadorian. The Trump team has said that he's part of the gang MS-13. I usually, if it's cases like this or like the Carmelo Anthony cases where it seems like it's a divide and conquer case, or where it seems like it's a case of little consequence to my life, I usually don't give a shit. But I am tuning in because more now, because it seems like this is becoming a more interesting case as time progresses, in addition to the fact that Trump last night took the case, or took to the issue head on and released a post on Truth Social. And I'll get to that in a second momentarily. But if you guys don't know that this man, Kilmar, quite the name, Abrego Garcia, was from Salvador. He was deported, arrested at his home. He has a wife, and I believe he has children that he's left behind in the state of Maryland or in the state of Virginia, one of the two. And he's been taken to Salvador, where the president of the United States has a agreement in which they will send prisoners of America to El Salvador. And a lot of the ones that I've seen thus far are these gangbanger looking types. Like, they look like Latin cats that are hitting those jails. Because I don't want to go down any rabbit holes as to what Trump may do, or what somebody's guessing that Trump is going to do, because there's been talk of Trump sending Americans to these jails too. I mean, I don't have any info on that, and Trump hasn't put out much info on that. So I'm not going to address that at this current juncture. But I am going to address the hypocrisy that the liberal media has put into the case of this deportee and Kilmar Abrego Garcia, and they're trying to make it look like it's this innocent victim and whatnot. And I really don't know much shit like no, I really don't know much about the guy. What I do know is that everything that the Trump team does is looked at with a fine under a microscope. So if this guy were as innocent and like a good dad like they paint him out to be, there would have been a ton of evidence to show that. What they keep showing is him with one picture and basically telling us that if he gets deported back to El Salvador, that he's likely to get killed by a rival gang. I mean, if he's not a gangbanger, I mean, like, why would he get killed by a rival gang? Also, one thing that is kind of like in the my mind regarding all this is the fact that there's been political imprisonments in the last couple of years. I mean, Trump in the state of Georgia was arrested on some political shit. Whether you agree with that or not, I mean, like, that's up to you. But a lot of the cases that Trump went through, like the one I just discussed in New York, the one he's endured in Georgia got dismissed, were done on a political basis. Whether you want to be a bias or not, I don't got time for that. Now, this Kilmar Abrego Garcia, again, he's not a resident of America, or he's not a citizen, if you will, is being made into a political case, of course, because it's happening under the Trump administration. However, when it comes to political imprisonments, I reflect back on January 6th. Now, I don't agree with much of what happened on January 6th. The fact that people showed up to the Capitol on the outside perimeter of the Capitol to January 6th is not illegal. The people that entered the Capitol and destroyed things should have been arrested. And, or if they hurt people or hurt police officers, or, they should be arrested. However, January 6th, especially right after it happened, was made to feel like it was 9/11 Pearl Harbor moment for this country. Like, the way they made it seem as if thousands of people died and the country was at the verge of, not being a country anymore. I mean, it was hyperbolicized, if you will. Right after it happened, for quite some time. It was years in which they addressed 9/11 as some watershed moment for this country. I mean, 9/11 was a couple of fucking things broken, and one protester was the only person that got killed for the January 6th. My apologies. However, if you guys didn't keep track after the events of January 6th, a lot of the people that were involved in that, as far as entering the Capitol that day, were arrested. They were arrested without due process. They were arrested without sentencing. And a lot of them were released upon Trump pardoning them once he got into office. Now, I didn't see many people on the conservative side crying about January 6ers being done unjustly, or this being a big media thing. Not even Fox was touching it, honestly. However, you'll have constant stories on MSNBC, CNN, ABC regarding this illegal alien in Kilmar Abrego Garcia, which, if he's innocent, again, like, they would jump out the window and show you all the things that he's up to in this country, which he's been in this country for over a decade, I believe. But it's basically a lot of finger waving and basically saying Trump's wrong, Trump's wrong, Trump's wrong. And a lot of people are desensitized to that, to like these stories in which it's just basically try to find something that makes Trump look bad. A lot of people are dismissing those outright. I've been dismissing them. But the more important thing, and it's not a good thing necessarily, is that people are desensitized to political imprisonment. Now, I don't agree with the events of January 6th. However, the people that were arrested unjustly and without sentencing, or I'll say, or without giving due process, they were political prisoners. And this person, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, who's not a citizen of this country, again, is not going to get much sympathy from people unless it's people that are looking for some way to get a gotcha moment on Trump, or just to try to bring up something bad in relation to Trump. And again, like, this is largely being dismissed. Trump yesterday morning released a picture of on Truth Social of Kilmar Abrego Garcia's knuckles, which had what he said was MS-13 tattoos, which was on his one knuckle. He had a marijuana leaf, and that's supposed to be the M. On the other knuckle, he had either a dollar sign or a smiley face, and that was supposed to be the S. On the other knuckle, he had a cross, that's supposed to be the 1, and on the last knuckle, he had a skull, and that's supposed to be the 3. Which, and a lot of the media, or a lot of the press that I read that were contending that Trump was wrong on that story, basically their way of saying that Trump was wrong was saying that, oh, if he wanted to get MS-13 done on his knuckles, that he would have just put the numbers and the letters straight up. That most people do that. So basically, that story is not true, because if he wanted to get MS-13 on body, that he would just get the letters and numbers. And that's the ridiculous bullshit that a lot of people that are just looking for only a headline, that don't read, and that's most of you, honestly. That's most people that are on this channel, frankly. I mean, I think a lot of you are smart too. Hopefully, a lot of you are coming to the light, or a lot of but what I see from the American populace, I mean, even family of mine, is that everybody's like fast asleep. Everybody's extremely tribalized, destitute, and broke. There's not even time to think, it seems. And I get that. However, like, a lot of times if you bring up any of these topics, I mean, especially if it's something that goes against Trump, and you contend that, hey, listen, this might be something that's just happening, or that they're saying negatively just because it's Trump. And a lot of people want to knock your head off. I mean, there's people here that fucking that probably don't agree with what I say on this channel. I mean, and like, they just don't want a back and forth at times. Like, they just want to get their point across. And a lot of times they feel that they want to get their point across because I'm contending for a bad man, what they feel like in Trump. And that's a lot of times not the case. A lot of times, like, what you're seeing from the left, from the big tech, and from the media, is basically Trump's bad, Trump's bad, Trump's bad. And anything that Trump is suggesting is also bad. But I mean, we're all adults. I mean, like, I want what's best ultimately for the country. I have a son. I want him to inherit a dope country, period. A lot of times I think a lot of people are looking at America and saying, well, America's unjust, so fuck these people. I mean, like, well, I don't know where the fuck you're gonna go live. I mean, I've lived in America my whole life. I mean, my fucking mom Dukes lived in America since the 50s, and she's still alive. She's still here. A lot of cats I see in the hood, I mean, like, they on that time too, like a lot of YNs. I mean, like, they're on the time of fuck everything. I mean, like, and I get it. I mean, if you're doing it out of frustration, I mean, I understand it, but there's no way to live at the end of the day, especially in these times. Because I mean, if there's any time that you've seen things come undone, I mean, is 2025 not looking like that right now? I mean, like, we're on the verge of World War III. We're on the verge, like, but the media, or corporate media, the government apparatus, in many instances, especially under the Biden administration, basically ran on a system of everything associated with Trump is bad, and anybody who's advocating for something that sounds like it's helping Trump is an evil person. And I've gotten the brunt of that. I mean, like, I've gotten the brunt of that, honestly, since up until like a few months ago, honestly, like right, especially in New York, like right before the election in New York was the first time I saw New Yorkers really a conservative wave take over, and that was with hood New York men. It was a mass wave of conservatism happening in New York, and a lot of those men feel like, listen, like these liberal morons. Not only did they gentrify this shit and make it hard for me to live here, but they're also adding in other people that aren't from America, that are not nice people in most cases, that are not looking for a job. They're just chilling, looking for a cheap opportunity. Like, they're just looking to rob and shit. Like, and I'm telling you guys, like a lot of the people that ended up in New York in this migration wave are on the shits. I mean, they're on shithead time for real. I mean, like they may get a little bit of government sustenance by way of debit cards and whatnot, maybe food stamps or food. I don't know, but they don't feel like it's enough. They see people that have nice stuff out in New York, and they are trying to go grab it up by force a lot of times, and it's scary to live amongst. So a lot of people that may feel away, I mean, like, aren't really dealing with a migration problem like I am dealing with. A lot of the people also, and more importantly, is that a lot of people don't have are not really thinking things through in these times like that, and they just look for a bad guy, and they just stick with that bad guy. I mean, it makes it really comfortable for them to just dictate their political thinking to, well, if Trump likes it, then I don't like it, or if Trump's suggesting it, then it's not for me. Yo, I think I touched fucking poison ivy because I just found this little bench thing, and I've been touching like my back while I'm doing this live stream, and it feels like it's burning, faggot. But let me tell my wife, love. My apologies, my people. No, I actually had poison ivy poisoning last year, and that shit wasn't fun, especially for my wife. Um, but going back to what I was saying, it's very easy to think that there's one person who's the worst person in the world in Trump. Like a lot of people have been thinking that way since 2016, maybe earlier. And to really look at things from only that umbrella, from or through only that perspective. Like, hey, if Trump is suggesting it, then it's not for me. And I mean, if you want to live an easy lifestyle and have your thoughts all aligned for you by the, corporate media and big tech, I mean, like, fantastic. Be distracted. Like, fucking think that some random broads just flew into space and Beyonce made a cowboy album. Be entertained with that. I mean, like, and Trump bad. That'll work out just fine. But if you have your head on a swivel, I mean, trust me, a lot of things go, even in hard times like these, things are a lot easier to deal with when you're informed rather than like just a hater. Honestly, like, I mean, like, you want to live your life just hating on some dude you never met, as far as and bait and get into these nasty conversations every time his name comes up. Like I lived under the Biden administration. I thought that Biden didn't win the election in a straight up fashion, and I guess that's allowed to be sold on YouTube now. If you guys weren't aware, that was something that wasn't allowed to be said on YouTube. Like, but I feel that not that many people, record numbers of people, 82 million people voted for Joe Biden. I mean, he was just as brain dead while he was office as when he was running. But while Biden was running, I mean, it wasn't as if I was looking for things and saying like, oh, well, just because Biden is suggesting it, it sucks. No, Biden also happened to be the worst president in the history of my life, or in the history of this country, likely. Mass migration. I mean, COVID lockdown or vaccine enforcement. Um, you name it, like the Afghanistan withdrawal. So allowing for more sick people to come in during the COVID crisis at the border, you know, but it wasn't as if like what I see with the opposing, as far as people that oppose Trump at a return. I don't see a lot of people that like just seek out like Joe Biden things like to point out like that were wrong, in spite of the fact that Joe Biden was fucking up at every turn like this last presidency. Whereas like a lot of times during that same time frame, during the Biden presidency, a lot of people that were pointing out things that Biden was doing wrong were dismissed as, oh, well, you're one of them Trump people, you know, like, and it was a lot to trudge through. I mean, not that it was a lot to trudge through. I'm no victim in this, but it was done by people who weren't really, who were, like I said, like just looking from the perspective of, well, if it has to do with Trump, then automatically I don't agree with. But that guy, I'm not shedding no tears for him. I mean, we need less migrants in this country as is. We need less people in this country, especially in the cities. I'm not gonna shed no tears for this guy unless, I mean, like some evidence comes out that this dude's like a stellar human being and whatnot. Which, I mean, a lot of the contrary is being said, but I really don't give a shit either way. I mean, like, I'm totally desensitized to political imprisonments, like the liberal left has done, as well, frankly. So, I mean, don't judge me for not having any tears for this one individual who doesn't seem to have been contributing much during his time in this country. Tariffs, my friend. While I end that subject, I got a Met game coming on real soon. Nobody's commenting, bro. Y'all are birds, because I know a lot of the people that are here might not even agree with me. Now, my man, Underrated Darkness. Underrated Darkness is good peeps. Let me put the comment up. I'm back. Word up. But besides that, I know a lot of people may not agree with what I'm saying. I'm not looking to contend these issues, and I think a lot of people, honestly, their minds are changing. Because since Trump has taken office, I mean, the country is doing a lot better. I mean, if somebody wants to tell me how the country is doing significantly worse, I mean, you're more than welcome to put that in the comments. I would have been open for a debate too. But the country has been doing significantly better. The border is far more secure than it was under the Biden administration. There are far less migrants coming in than under the Biden administration. Again, I need less migrants in America than more. I don't see a place for any more migrants unless we remove a bunch that we don't need, and there are many that we don't need in this country. But one thing that Trump has been talking about, and which he, I believe, has implemented in against some countries, is tariffs. And if you guys weren't aware, like the stock market a couple weeks ago had went through what some people thought was going to be a recession-like crash, and it was basically leading into April 2nd, the day that Trump was going to start his tariffs. However, since then, the market has been coming back up. Job numbers, which are an indication of a good economy, are also increasing, and which wasn't happening under the Biden administration. In fact, they had lied about the numbers of jobs, and it was found out towards the end of the Biden administration that these numbers were largely fudged or faked. But a good thing that Trump is implementing is tariffs. And this is basically charges that or taxes that are dished out to other countries for selling their stuff to us. Now, I always thought that this was a genius idea. I always thought that once we started the World Trade Organization, which basically in the 90s, it was decided that China was a developing nation that needed help, so that we were going to ship American industries to China so that China could make products for America, and we get rid of our industries because our industrial areas were too expensive to operate at times, and a lot of that was due to regulation, and China needed our help. But since then, I mean, China's taken the role of cock blocking America at every turn. I mean, like not only with the Panama Canal, where like private Chinese companies have taken over the canal and make business on American companies extremely hard. China also influences other countries to treat America the same way. All the while, we finance China's whole economy. Without America, China can't exist like the way it's going right now. China is industrialized in places where it really should have never been industrialized. They've taken fields that were barren and made neighborhoods and industries out of them. And all the while, they've been not the nicest nation to America. So Trump is basically saying, listen, like we're basically financing your whole economy while you guys screw us, and it's not going to happen. So Trump gave indications to every country, listen, everybody's going to start paying tariffs. I mean, and some countries basically try to bluff and say, well, we're going to do tariffs too, except America. If those countries tariff us, they're basically going to tariff us on stuff that America sells to those countries, which America sells very little to any country. I mean, besides produce, I mean, a lot of the raw material that we have in this country, we ship to China so that they could sell products back to us. And that's a stupid idea. I'm totally okay with the economy, with a short-term bumpy economy and a tariffing system that would, in the long term, benefit the country by taxing the American people less. Trump is actually inferring that they would be able to end income tax. I mean, a lot of you guys that are single, especially, I mean, like you get more than a third of your check taken out by income tax a lot of times, or just taxes. Now, if Trump is suggesting that tariff or a tariffing system may generate enough revenue in which the income tax could be done away with, you have a lot of people that, you know, just want to look for the negative and just suggest that, hey, just because Trump is saying it, then I'm not with it. Even to the point of income taxes. Like, I mean, income tax, nobody ever says like, well, yeah, I'm looking forward to paying my income taxes because the government's going to put this money into use and they're going to make my schools way better and the roads way better. Like everybody looks at income tax in America as if it's unnecessary and in many ways, money that they pay reluctantly or that they wouldn't pay at all if they left it to their own devices. Now, Trump is suggesting that we should do away with the income tax system altogether. I mean, how is that not humongous news? How is it that, you know, you'll save hundreds per month by way of not losing money through taxes or income tax specifically, and that not be a concept that people in America are going nuts over? It makes no sense. I mean, like, there's a lot of people who are who politically and honestly, this bleeds into their personal lives, in which they just want Trump to take a loss so bad that they would be willing to mess up their own standard of living, so that Trump could have a little egg on his face. I don't know. But as far as tariffs goes, I do try to look into the economy as much as I could. I'm no expert, but I do know that America is the biggest consumer in the world. Everything that America has is brought to us by way of solely products. We don't make shit in this country. And that has to change. When we make things in this country, those are jobs in this country. I remember as a young kid living in Sunset Park that there were little factories and they would make crappy clothes and stuff like that. But a lot of the people that owned it were Spanish cats. And I mean, they didn't come here and just start a factory off the rip. I mean, but you put two and two together. I mean, like, if this building's empty, if I go set up shop and buy 10 little machines, I can make money doing this. And that's kind of like the American dream. I mean, like, that enables you to make another move, and then that enables you to make another move and another move, and that progression that was so available in this country up until like the 1990s, it seemed. I mean, it seemed as in my youth, everybody, I remember people that would work for these little bullshit 9-to-5 jobs, as a manager in Burger King, let's say. And they had, apartments sometimes. Some of them had houses. There was a guy in my church that was a manager of a supermarket, and he owned 2 houses. And he didn't make a lot of money like that. But it's just that we've been gouged as far as what everything costs, and a system of tariffs. Does it seem like a short shot solution? I don't know. But I'd rather try something than just keep going down the path of money printing and unnecessary waste. Nah, I'm good with that. Nobody's commenting, and I wanted this to be a conversation rather than me babbling. So I'm just going to touch on my topic, my last topic, briefly. Maybe I'll do it in another video. Hopefully, if somebody has any disagreement with my last topic, leave me a comment, and I'll respond by way of video or commenting, whatever have you. Give me a little bit of salsa to fucking or a little bit of sauce to make another video, if you will, by having me respond to you. But my last comment topic is a controversial one, and a lot of the videos I was making last were regarding the FBA creation of hip hop debate. Now, again, I never heard of the term FBA up until 2024. And it was solely an internet movement. Never heard of it out, like nobody referring to themselves, none of that shit, like as FBA. And anybody who says they were is fronting. Give me one second. And a lot of times when I would get into that FBA debate, I always made it very clear as if I was not defending or couching any topics in defense of Fat Joe. I'm not a big Fat Joe fan. In fact, I'm not really a fan at all. I always thought he was just a regular, decent rapper. Sure, I appreciated the fact that a Puerto Rican was able to enter the hip hop game. But me being a Puerto Rican and seeing how many Puerto Ricans were thoroughly ingrained into hip hop culture and into the hip hop lifestyle, I always thought that the fact that Joe was the only Puerto Rican that got on, that he was stopping other Puerto Ricans in essence from getting on. And I mean, like, and a lot of times, like, especially in the spirit of that debate that happened in 2024, where a lot of seemingly online internet racist FBAs were coming out of the woodwork. And again, I always treat a lot of these people on the internet as if, yeah, they may be claiming they're FBA, but they're probably some white boy in his basement or some shit. Who knows? But I did see a lot of people that were legit, like being bigoted or racist, and I guess, but one thing that I didn't preclude is that right now hip hop is probably at its worst state. You got like country white boys like that get more shine in the hip hop game, that get propped up, pushed forward. You got pretty much no FBA or quote unquote FBA executives of any substance. I mean, like you got even like the veterans of like that are quote unquote FBA that are in the rap game, like are looking the worst right now. You got Diddy going through his shit. Jay is being accused of being with kids and whatnot. In addition to a lot, like, trap music, it just seems like some real young shit, like that old people don't listen to. And then you still got a remnant of like kind of like older rappers, and by older I mean like Cameron types, which is not really that old, that just look washed and old and look sad, if anything. I mean, like a lot of times if you're in your 50s and you still dressing like a YN, you know, that shit looks corny, bro. Like a lot of these dudes, like I noticed that a lot of the people that are in my age group are some of the ones doing the most out here. You know, they complain about YNs, but they act like YNs. Like, I mean, like they still, dress like YNs, take pictures like YNs, want to fuck young chicks like YNs do. You know, but everything associated with hip hop as of 2025, it's on a steady downtrend. And a lot of like, you know, looking back on it now, I mean, it's April right now, 2025. Nobody right now is calling themselves FBA anymore. That shit came and went like ADOS, like the word Negro, if you will. So FBA in essence, because it was an online movement, and because nobody online is referring to themselves as FBA, probably past 2026, the FBA movement in essence is dead. But they kind of like went out of their way like to basically, you know, try to, in a sense, like shit on like, you know, Puerto Ricans based on this Fat Joe issue, as if every Puerto Rican is riding out in that fashion, you know, like, or it just allowed for a lot of dumb people online to be bigoted. And I would hear people like that would like, there were these panels and like, you know, and people that were ripping Jamaicans, people that were ripping Puerto Ricans, and then they'll be like, yeah, I grew up in the Bronx, I'm half white, half black. Like, whoa, like I don't remember growing up with no half white dudes like that in the hood. You know what I'm saying? Like, but like, you know, in 2024, on the heels of that FBA debate, it seemed like a lot of like bigotry and accepted racism was accepted for a short time. When I know for sure in New York City, I mean, like Jamaican dudes, black dudes, Puerto Rican dudes, we always messed with each other. And like even when that debate was popping off, there wasn't no Puerto Rican dudes that were going at each other in New York at that time. Even a lot of black dudes that I know from my personal friend group that like, you know, they'll say like, oh, you know, I like a lot of these racist or like they'll bitch about instances in which they've been they've encountered like a racist Puerto Rican, which is my heritage, you know, and that could be true. That's 100% true. But and like, you know, and I wouldn't blame them for being on the defensive or for being offended, whatever have you. But a lot of those cats that really notice when that I know, like black cats that really take note of when they've been shitted on by like Puerto Rican, let's say, they even a lot of those cats have been pumping the brakes. Like they ain't all jump on that issue as it was popping off, like this whole Lord Jamal versus Fat Joe or Puerto Rico versus FBA, if you have, because that's not the reality in New York. But on the internet, you know, with some bigoted FBA cats that never touched New York, that probably have a reason to hate on New York. I mean, like, you know, they remix history of hip hop on command. They think that they get away with bigotry because, you know, they're the hyper victim. They're always victimized. I mean, so I have an opportunity to behave shitty with other people. Like that shit don't fly. I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not reality. You know, I wanted to have that debate, or you know, that debate came and went. But I mean, I'll touch on it if anybody has anything to contend. I want to wash my ass and watch the Mets game. So I'm gonna cut the stream off now. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Happy Easter if you guys do celebrate that. I really don't, besides eating food. But I hope you guys have a wonderful Easter and great rest of your weekend. Peace.